rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome you all to tonight's meeting. I'll remind you that you are in an open meeting. Could we have a roll call, please, Sue?
Mrs. Glatz? Here. Mr. Lucetti?
Here.
Mr. Lulo?
Here.
Mr. Kozel? Mrs. Molinari?
Here. Our first public speaker is Eileen Malone, and I'll remind you that you have 5 minutes to speak. At the 1 minute mark, I will try to give you a signal. I don't mean to be rude, and let you know that you're approaching 1 minute left. And reminder again that you are speaking to the Board of Education. Okay?
Yes. My name is Eileen Malone, and I am the parent of 2 Lincoln Way North students. This week I did something I did not think I would have to do for another 3 years when my youngest would finish her senior year. After checking in the music department concert uniforms, I packed up my supplies, turned off the lights, and closed the door on the Lincoln Way North Music Department uniform room for the last time. This ended a year I wish I never had to go through. Starting with the rumors last spring, and then the vote on August 13th to close the hub of our community, the actions of this board and administration have cast a pall on what should have been a year filled with pride and happiness as I watched my oldest child prepare to graduate. Instead, we have had to see our district ripped apart. I spend a significant amount of time volunteering for various music activities, and through this I have observed what the students are going through. I listened as the Madrigal seniors talked about not being able to come back to an alumni table, to be able to watch as the traditions that they were a part of continue on. Do you realize that the wax from the Madrigal Yule log is never removed? It is to serve as a reminder of all those who have sung before them. What happens to that now? I have heard the students cry as they sang for the last time on the Madrigal set. I have heard them wonder what will happen to the music traditions at Lincoln Way North. Will they continue at East, or do they stay locked in an empty building? What happens to the Marching Phoenix uniforms? Will they be worn again? There have been people saying that 8 years is not long enough to create any kind of a legacy. I think the students would disagree. Look at the accomplishments of every team and activity at Lincoln Way North, and you will see a legacy of pride and honor. Despite the promises of familiar faces at East, 3/4 of the Lincoln Way North music staff were cut. No familiar faces for our kids. The last 2 weeks were spent helping dismantle and pack up the department. Due to the unrealistic deadline for locking up the building, much of this work was done during school hours. I am wondering, Mrs. Glatz, you've been very critical in the past of students missing days to participate in various competitions. Do you think it is okay to not have class because the school is being packed up around them? Is it okay that textbooks were returned before final exams in some cases?
Wow. Hear, hear.
How easy would it be for you to concentrate if your workspace was being dismantled around you? Would you be able to do quality work if you knew that your workplace was being closed and you were being transferred without any choice in the matter? But I guess as long as your agenda is on track, nothing else really matters. You have admitted in the past that you have not been given all the information available, yet you still insist on pushing forward with a decision that will negatively affect our district for decades. Multiple emails have been sent requesting that the vote to close Lincoln Way North be revisited and placed on the agenda for tonight. According to your manual, this is how we are supposed to get an item on the agenda. Yet all requests have been met with the same cookie-cutter response from Mrs. Molinari. Your manual also says that if an item is not placed on the agenda, you must provide a reason. Well, here we are, still waiting. And of course, this week's excitement, the federal investigation. How sad that it is actually a relief to have the feds jumping in.
Yes. Amen.
Finances were wrong, and we were told that it was no big deal. Things were an oversight. They were being fixed. As we now know, it is much worse than you have led us to believe. I have to say that as a nurse, if I committed this many oversights at work, someone would be dead.
Yeah.
Yet you still want us to believe that you are capable of leading this district. You couldn't see that we were in trouble, yet you think you can fix our problems. 4 resignations from the board in the first half of the year is very telling. Frankly, the board and Dr. Tingley are a disgrace to this district. I am joining the call for the immediate resignations of the board and Dr. Tingley. I am requesting that none of you attend the graduation ceremony. Here, here!
I will remind you.
Do your job!
Excuse me.
Do your job!
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Between the investigation and the fact that you are responsible for the closing, you have no place in a day that is meant to honor and celebrate the students. For you to show up is like the murderer showing up to the victim's funeral.
You are beyond 1 minute mark.
You do us no honor, you bring us no comfort. I hope that you can finally, for the first time since you started this entire debacle, put the students first and just stay away. Our children are not political pawns. Showing up would be due to a selfish desire on your part to be there. There is no opportunity provided for us to say goodbye to a place that has been our community center for 8 years. This will be the last event for our school, and you being there would ruin it for all. Let the honor of addressing the last
Time is
graduating
up,
class.
thank you.
So it's yours.